Hello, my name's Clyde Morris, and today I wanted to show you how we go about solving quadratic equations. Okay, so here's a quadratic equation: x squared plus 7x plus 12 equal to 0. Okay, this is my quadratic equation, and we can tell it's a quadratic equation because x has been raised to the power 2. If there's x to the power 2, this is quadratic. Okay, so how do we go about solving this equation? Well, the first thing that we need to do is we need to look at the end number and write out the factors of the end number. We need to try and make 12. Okay, so one of the factor pairs of 12 are 1 and 12. And if we multiply these two factors together, well, that gives us 12. Okay. But we also need to sum the factors, and when we sum them, we need to try and make them equal to 7. So if we look at the numbers 1 and 12, well, when we sum them, when we add them up, well, that gives us 13, and that's no good because we want, when we sum them, to give us 7. We're getting 13 with these factor pairs, and we want 7. So that's no good. So let's try another pair of factors of 12. Well, we could have 2 and 6. These are both factors of 12, and when we multiply them together, they give us 12, so that's great. Okay, we're trying to find factors which to give us 12, but the same numbers, 2 and 6, when we sum them, okay, 2 and 6, well, that gives us 8. So we can't use 2 and 6. We're trying to get 7. 2 and 6 gives us 8. So we need to use another pair of factors for 12. Okay, so let's have a go at finding another pair. Well, we've got 3 and 4. Those are both factors of 12. Okay, multiply them together, that will give us 12. And when we sum them, 3 plus 4, well, that's great. That when we add them together, that gives us 7, all right? 3 plus 4 is 7, and that's great. That's exactly what we want, all right? So 3 times 4, when we have the product of the factors, that gives us 12, and 3 plus 4 is equal to 7. Okay, the multiplier, the coefficient of x. So we're going to work with the numbers 3 and 4. Okay, so let's get this out of the way. All right, so we're going to use 3 and 4 together with brackets and x. So we're going to have x plus 3 and x plus 4. And we're going to equate these to 0 because if you were to multiply that bracket times that bracket, then we should get back to this original equation. And since this original equation is equal to 0, then I can have my factorized form of the equation equal to 0 as well. But I'm going to leave you to multiply out these brackets and see if we get back to this original equation. All right, so how do we go about finding x? Well, what we need to do is we need to think of this first bracket first of all and try and find a value of x which will make this first bracket equal to 0. All right? Because if we can make the first bracket equal to 0, then that first bracket times that bracket will give us 0. 0 times anything will give us 0. So let's have a go at doing that. Okay, so the solution for the first bracket in order to make it to 0 is to make x equal to minus 3. Because minus 3 plus 3 is equal to 0. If you want to think of it, 3 subtract 3 will give you 0. So what you'll end up with is you'll end up with 0 in the bracket, multiplied by a second bracket, which is x plus 4, and 0 times anything will give us 0. Right, so one solution is x equal to minus 3, okay? All right, and we can do a similar thing with the second of the brackets. So let's have a go at that. All right, so the first bracket, we'll just write that down again as x plus 3. And then we need to think about how we can make this second bracket equal to 0. And hopefully you can see that if we have x equal to minus 4, you'll have minus 4 plus 4, which will give you 0. So substituting x equal to minus 4 plus 4, this bracket then becomes 0. First bracket, we'll keep that as x plus 3. And then, so x plus 3 times 0 will give you 0. Okay? So the second solution to this factorized form of the original equation, the second solution is x equal to minus 4. Okay, so we're essentially done. We found the two solutions of x which will satisfy this factorized form of the equation, right? And seeing as this equation is the same as that equation, if this equation is equal to 0, then these values of x, which satisfy this, must also satisfy the original equation. And we can do a check at this point to see if we've got the right solution. So let's just quickly do that. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this first solution here. I'm going to substitute this solution here, x equal to minus 3, into this equation and see if that gives me 0. And that will prove that this solution is correct. Okay, so let's have a go at doing that. So we'll have minus 3 squared, all right? So that's going to be minus 3 times minus 3. So I'll just bracket that off. And then we're going to have minus 3 times x, okay, minus 3 times x, and that will give me minus 21, okay? So again, I'll just bracket that off. And then we're going to add 12 right at the end. And then we're just going to tidy this up and see if we get to 0. Okay, so we've got a minus times a minus. Okay, minus 3 times minus 3, which will give us plus 9. And then we're going to subtract 21. Okay, we're going to add minus 21. Okay, so minus 21, and then finally we're going to add 12. And then we're going to tidy this up further and see if we get to 0. Okay, so we've got plus 9, minus 21, plus 12, which indeed does come to 0 when we tidy all of this up. Okay, 9 minus 21 plus 12 is equal to 0. So that shows that this solution here, x equal to minus 3, is correct, because when we put x equal to minus 3 into this equation here, we get 0. So that solution there is correct. All we need to do now is to check the other solution here, x equal to minus 4, put that in here and see if we get 0 again. Okay, so let's have a go at doing that. Okay, so we'll have minus 4. So we'll have minus 4 times minus 4, right? This is x squared. So you'll have minus 4 times minus 4. That's our x squared. So we'll just bracket that off. And then we'll have minus 4 times 7, which is minus 28. Okay. And then we'll just have to add to that. We'll just add 12 to that. Okay, so let's tidy this up. So minus 4 times minus 4, you've got a minus times a minus. So this is minus 4 times minus 4, which is plus 16. Okay. and then we've got to subtract 28, and then finally we need to add 12. Okay, so all we need to do now is to tidy this up. Okay, so 16 minus 28 plus 12, when we sort that all out, we should find that that comes to 0. So that's great. So we've substituted x equal to minus 4 into the original equation, and it's given us 0. So that shows that this is also a solution to this original equation. All right, so the two solutions of this equation, and there are two, are x equal to minus 3, okay, that will give us 0, and x equal to minus 4 into this equation gives us 0. So these, we've shown that our two solutions, which we got through factorization, are indeed correct. Well, I hope you found that useful, and thank you for watching.